Hello, this is Tim Campso with TBC Action Coach of Indiana with our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through our social channels and email database, as well as provide them coaching. This is a free service that we're providing because if every small business is strong, then the economy is strong. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Terry. Welcome, Terry. It's great to have you on the program today.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Well, let's start with you introducing yourself and tell us a little bit of your story.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. For the past 42 years, it has been my passion to help families, businesses, executives, and other professionals to protect their incomes and accumulated assets from market losses and volatility, excessive costs and fees, unnecessary confiscatory taxation, which is where my passion is, and excessive and avoidable risk. Um, I just feel it's my moral and professional responsibility um, to provide leadership and guidance in helping people cut through all the misleading, conflicting information and confusion is out there so that they can make wise decisions leading to a life of success, meaning, and significance, with an emphasis on wealth preservation and protective growth.
Fantastic. So Terry, you said a big word, confiscatory something or other. Tell me what that means.
Confiscatory taxation.
Yes.
I haven't met, in my 42 years in a business, I haven't met one business owner that wasn't overpaying in taxes and expenses, but mainly taxes. And so, as a managing director of Redwood tax specialist, that's what we do all day long. We cut taxes by 50%, almost 100% of the time for successful business owners and affluent families working with small and medium-sized businesses. It's really a joy to see the smiles and on their faces and their eyes light up when they see that they can cut their taxes significantly.
Wow, that is cool. So Terry, tell us a little bit more. How do you do that? What's the process that you work through with clients?
Well, first of all, everybody has, a tax professional for the most part, and most of them are CPAs. And even if they're not, they're good enrolled agents or they're really good CPAs. But I have to tell you, I went to college to be a CPA. My major was in accounting and my minor was in business. Being the type of person that always wanted to be ahead of the curve, I started studying for my CPA exam in my junior year of college and realized that's not what I wanted to do in life. Because in my studies, I found out that it's not the CPA's job to cut taxes. Okay. Um, as I unfortunately found out, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, there are zero questions on the CPA exam. There's 4 parts, 2 days. There are zero questions as it relates to the Internal Revenue Code. It's all about recording history, auditing, compliance, due diligence, what have you, everything about except tax reduction. That's where tax reduction CPAs and tax attorneys come into play. So our back office has a number of tax reduction CPAs, tax attorneys, enrolled agents, enrolled agents, actuaries, and other professionals that their full-time job is scouring the 80,000 plus pages of the Internal Revenue Code to come up with every possible deduction that's in the code, not gray area, but that's in the tax code to reduce your taxes. CPAs don't have time for that. And I give them credit. They just don't have an extra 40 to 60 hours a week to tack on to the other 40 to 60 hours a week they're already working to become or to know the 80,000 plus pages of the tax code like the back of their hand. That's our job.
Wow. So did I hear you correctly? 50% savings almost 100% of the time?
That's correct.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's correct.
So Terry, who do you serve? Who's your best customer, or what we call a target audience?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, you know, uh, we do our best work with small to medium sized successful businesses. I mean, you have to have a tax problem before you cut taxes, right? If you don't have a tax problem, then there's not much we can do. But if you're successful and you have a good income, then most of the time, 90% or the better of the time, you've got a tax issue, one that can be reduced. And so our target market where we can do the most good is small to medium sized successful businesses and affluent families.
Fantastic. So Terry, tell us, what's been the greatest impact that COVID has had on your business?
Actually, this may seem somewhat ironic, but there's really not been any negative impact. It's actually been positive. I have to tell you that, I've been working remotely to one degree or another for over a decade. And for the last few years, I was wondering when everybody else was going to get it. you know so when the pandemic hit, we didn't really change much. We just put the metal or pedal to the metal and shifted gears, so to speak, and went on as and doing what we were doing before, but all remotely. It was no issue for us. It was pretty much seamless. And I think the positive impact it's had on outside of our practice, and that is for our clients, is we taught them that they could do the same thing.
Fantastic. So a lot of folks have had to pivot during the pandemic. What are one or two actions that you've taken to make a difference during this time, and how's that been working for you?
I don't know if I understood the question
Yeah.
properly.
Um,
Um,
is there something that you have had to do differently? I know you said you've already been working from home or working remotely, but are there other things you've had to shift in your business model to accommodate the pandemic? And if so, how's that been working for you?
yeah, because it's been last year was one of our best years ever during the pandemic. And so we had to improve a number of our systems and processes to handle all the inflow of business and work that we were doing.
Fantastic. Awesome.
That's a good problem. It's a
Yes,
growing problem.
it's a
Yeah.
fantastic problem. Congratulations. It's amazing. To your point, not everyone has had that opportunity to grow during the pandemic. So it's fantastic that you've been able to. Here's an interesting question, Terry. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So, what mistakes have you made along the way that you'd be willing to share to help other entrepreneurs learn from your experience?
Yeah. Great question. Um, One of the things that I didn't learn all of a sudden, but had to learn over time was to quit trying to do it all myself.
Mm.
Okay. I was working too much in the business rather than working on the business, which is what I wanted to do. And so over the last few years, as we've grown dramatically, I've had to shed my ego a little bit and delegate more. And it's been wonderful for my life. Our business has grown. We've made more money. We've helped more people, and I've had to actually do less as we were growing exponentially.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. That is one of the biggest challenges that I hear when I'm talking to business owners, and that they end up becoming their own bottleneck, right? And oftentimes they don't
Yeah.
even realize that they're the reason that their business isn't able to grow because they've there's too much on their plate. So congratulations for realizing that and making the change. That's awesome.
Yeah, if there's one piece of advice I can provide, it's get out of your own way.
Yes, fantastic. So second last question here, Terry. I'm going to get your contact information so that we can include that in this video. Um, what else would you like people to know about you, or do you have any types of offers? How can people find out if your services are right for them?
Yeah, great question. And I'm more than happy to provide that. Um, I would suggest number one is go to our Redwood site, Redwood Tax Specialist, which I believe you have a link to. If not, I'll send it to you. um, and check that out. See how we're helping business owners all over the country. Um, and we don't try to replace their CPAs. As a matter of fact, we want to work in concert with their current tax professional. Okay. It's a team approach, a team um, uh, program. And so we want to work with their current tax professionals to be more successful for them. Secondly, I think if I haven't, I'll send that to you as well. As we were recently featured in Fortune magazine, actually the February 9th, a few weeks ago. And so they might want to take a look at that reprint of the Fortune magazine article. So, and also, least but not last, is the way we work on this is we provide a no obligation, no cost, complimentary assessment of their current tax situation. So they know right up front, without any cost, what we can do for them. And the assessment that we provide, the no cost, no obligation, complimentary assessment, is going to be conservative in nature because once we look at their data, their fact pattern, we know what we can do. And so our assessments is going to be conservative as far as what we can actually save them in taxes on an annual basis. Okay? So they might want to take advantage of that as well.
Fantastic. So let me see if I've heard this all correctly. So it's a up to 50% savings, almost over 90% of the time, and it doesn't cost them anything to have you review their situation for them. That sounds
That's
like a
correct.
pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you for that offer. And I will make sure to put the links in this post when we post it. So last question here, Terry. Tell me what's been most inspiring to you over the past year during all of this craziness?
The magnitude in which we've been able to help people, in doing so, I found that we grow and prosper more by focusing on the success of others rather than fretting over our own. And I think Zig Ziglar said it best: if you can have everything you want in life, if you'll just help enough other people get what they want.
I love that quote.
And that inspires me every day.
Yes, fantastic. Well, Terry, I appreciate your insights and your willingness to share some of your best practices and learnings over the years. That does conclude our interview. For those listening, if you have a tax situation or a business where you're successful, you're having to pay taxes, please take advantage of Terry's offer to review your tax situation, look for ways to help you save, again, up to 50% savings and almost in all cases. And remember, that's a free offer that Terry has. Is there's no cost, no obligation. So please reach out to him, take advantage of that offer. If you heard anything during this interview that maybe you're struggling with, maybe you haven't figured out how to pivot in your business, and you might just need another voice, another set of eyes to look at, give me a shout. We're happy to jump on a call and talk through that with you. Terry, it's been a pleasure learning from you today and learning about your business, and I wish you tremendous success.